Hello, Joy.
Hi, Hope. How are you?
Good. I don't know why Sheila is not here yet. What do we
Usually
do?
she's on time. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's wait for her a little bit. She's usually on time.
Hello? What?
What?
Hey, can I join?
Yes, of course. That's a big surprise.
Hey, I'm full of them. So,
What
let's
is
get this party going.
happening? What
You
is
wanna join?
happening? How come you're over there?
Well, the cool people are here.
Yes.
We'd love to have
Oh,
another cool
okay.
person. Can you make
All
it over?
right. All right. All right. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to think about it, how I would get there. Okay.
All right.
Take your time. We'll be here hanging out.
All right. Let me to do
Mia.
some planning.
See ya soon, we hope.
Wow.
Hello.
Such a
I know.
How are you doing?
Doing well.
I
Glad
think
to
we
be here.
somehow a little bit matched together. I have some pink as well.
Well, this is supposed to be the year for me wearing pink, so yeah. Hello?
That's right.
Here we are. Here we are.
That's okay.
Let me
That was
find
very
a chair
fast.
for myself.
Wow.
So, what brings us together today?
What?
I think it's our anniversary. Believe it or not, we are 3 years. aren't
Yes.
Is it 3 years?
3 years.
3
we know
years.
each other.
Knowing each other.
we? Yes.
Right? And then 2 for the podcast, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, who are we?
Who are we?
We are
Y.E.A.S.T.
Your
energetic,
authentic
self
today.
Welcome.
2 years.
So, 2 years.
Are we surprised?
I actually am surprised. There's a tendency for me to have ideas and then get distracted by shiny
Mhm.
things. So,
Mm-hmm.
to your credit, we've continued to do it. We
Mhm.
live our lives,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
the theme of Y.E.A.S.T, doing our thing. We come together when we can. We record, and I think that's probably helped us to
Yeah.
keep it
Yeah.
going for 2 years, and then for us to come together to celebrate our 2 years
Mm-hmm.
and talk through it. It's been awesome.
It's a big deal. I never imagined this day that 1, celebrate 2 years, and then 2, celebrate these 2 years together.
Yes.
In person.
In person. In person.
I'm so excited to spend this moment with both of you.
Yeah.
And like Sheila mentioned, sometimes we underestimate what we can do, what we can accomplish if we only do small things
Mhm.
consistently.
Agreed. And that's what we've done. We haven't looked to let the podcast take over our lives. We've been respectful of each other when it's, hey, we were supposed to record this week.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Can't do it because Joy decided to take a vacation. Hope goes to Switzerland, and I just hang out, hoping for the opportunity to record. No, kidding. All of us, just work life, vacations. We just allow ourselves to just
Yeah.
show up when we can and support each other. And we've learned a lot about each other. And frankly, in the last 24 hours, learned even more by coming together and sharing, seeing each other in person. For the
Absolutely.
record, the camera doesn't do you all justice. It's been 3 years since we've seen each other, and I see you and I go, okay, way different than on video.
How different?
more beautiful in person than seeing your faces on.
I
on
was
the
just
screen.
waiting for the words. Okay.
I had the script that you gave me, so I remember. Stay more beautiful in person.
I had the
Yeah.
same feeling. I
Mhm.
said, we all have great setup on our Zoom meeting because we have been doing this for more than 3 years since pandemic.
Mhm.
But seeing each other, I felt like we're three little girls. We're energetic, we're beautiful, we're young, we are open-minded. Since last night, how many hours we have been talking? I can't count.
I lost count of it, honestly. You just feel like you're fully immersed yourself that by all the friendship and we talk about the energy. Like this is unconditional love, fully trust, fully acceptance, so passionate together, non-judgmental that I felt like I don't have many moments like this in my adulthood. And I even took a nap in front of both of you.
I'm like, Joy, you seem to be very comfortable and you are taking a nap. Well, Sheila and I are still having this deep conversation. We went back to our neighborhood. We talk about civil wars. We talk about the Chinese Cultural Revolution. Well, I'm glad for you that you are able to be yourself because it means that you're not being fearful. You're completely be yourself because you understand
Yeah.
Sheila and I will not have even a second thought about,
Yeah.
hey, you shouldn't have been doing that.
We come together and all you can do is sleep.
Right? Right?
It
But
was, hey, should we put a blanket over? Let's be quiet.
Yes. Yeah.
And I love what you shared
Mhm.
about, and you just touched on it. Like you
Mhm.
haven't been able to do that since you were a kid. So that level
Yeah.
of comfort
Yeah.
of just let them carry on, trust.
Mhm.
Because once again, we haven't come together. We
Mhm.
haven't been in each other's company in 3 years. Obviously, we've done the
Mm-hmm.
podcast, we've talked, we've gotten to know each other. We just have not been in each other's homes
Yeah.
to really experience that level
Yeah.
of comfort and trust
Yeah.
with that.
And
Yeah.
that really, I'm very grateful that to having those moments together. And this is going to be such a special weekend for me, and I bet for us all together. And
Oh.
It's already been. It's
So
Yeah.
special.
so
Absolutely.
special.
And do you remember the word I used? I said, I feel like we are three little girls. We're not little, okay? We have kids, our kids are adults. But we decide who we
Mhm.
want to be.
Mhm.
If we want to be that little girl of being curious, being with each other, don't think about what I should be doing, what I shouldn't be
Mhm.
doing.
Mhm.
It's our power.
It is.
That is.
And it's we come and we sit and Zoom and record this, and I feel as if obviously we take on a certain persona because we do have our day jobs and don't want to cross any lines there and be criticized. For me, it was just walking around. There was music playing, and next thing I know, I'm doing a little dance.
Yeah, you
Folks over there right along with me. I mean,
Mhm.
that's the fun part of coming together,
Mhm.
collaborating, but also just truly being ourselves.
Yeah.
In front of other folks who may be
Mhm.
judging. What are they doing? Dancing in public? Who does that? Well,
We
why do
can.
you play music in public if you don't want people to dance?
Right? And we don't care,
And
right?
we don't
Yeah.
care. Especially for me, I'm not from here, so
Mhm.
who knows if I'll run into any of these people as I was out there.
Oh, I
Okay,
can't
now
say-
you're making me thinking, oh, I live here, but I don't.
I myself
Love
the
it.
one waving the hands to us.
We might have to go back later and see if they're still playing it. Just really
Yeah.
dance.
Yeah.
Like no one's
Yeah.
watching, even though people watching.
Yeah.
Oh, you said something. Repeat that.
Dance as if no one's watching.
And
Mhm.
What else did I say?
singing like nobody is listening.
Mhm. Which we did a little bit of that last
Oh,
night.
yeah.
We did.
Somebody said there's a song called Something Over the Mountain. And Sheila said, I don't know about that song.
Somewhere over the rainbow.
Somewhere over the rainbow.
Can we sing a little bit of it?
Come on, let's go.
Oh, no. We want to keep our listeners for a different reason, not to hear me singing.
Yeah.
By any means. We said we didn't want to offend anyone, so we're not gonna go there. You're the one taking voice
Is
lessons.
there
So
a limiting belief or something?
you go ahead.
I think we wanted to share our excitement. We wanted to share our level 7 energy that when you spend this awesome time with friends and sisters together, we really want you to feel it exists if you didn't think it does. And it is real if you didn't think you have imagined.
Mhm.
And, the reflection I had in the last, how many hours? It's
16 hours?
It keeps coming back to me like, I am so happy. I am so relaxed. I'm so grateful. And I feel so loved, with the sisters.
Mhm.
And that's not very common and not very often in the life. How can we help others to find those?
Well, I believe you just touched on something, right? It's supporting each other. And we may have talked about this in the previous podcast of supporting each other as individuals, respecting differences, and a willingness to talk through that. You also mentioned something about not imagining and thinking, being in your head around it. And for me, what showed up was asking for what you want. I go back to at the start of Y.E.A.S.T and me having this idea of what would it feel like to bring together people from different backgrounds with our different stories as our authentic self, free of judgment, and me having a willingness to step out of, call it my shell, to talk to Hope. And then she's like, "Can we bring in Joy?" Absolutely. That's the whole point. The more, the merrier. And just having that happen. And so many folks are, and probably women in particular, are afraid of asking for what they want out of fear of the no, someone saying no, rejection of, which can, and it's not original to us. We see it, there's books written about it.
Yeah,
that can limit us. In a simple, Hope once again saying, yes, I think that's a great idea. I'm like, I don't know if it's great. It's just an idea.
Yeah.
And us coming together and just that willingness to support each other. And continuously, we've had conversations where we share with the audience or we don't share, where we're looking to support each other, encourage each other based on our individual experiences, backgrounds, professional and personal, to talk through that and coach the other in that way. And if there wasn't that opening of a door, the willingness to step through it, which goes to trust, then we wouldn't be celebrating 2 years with the podcast, but the 3 years for all of us coming together. Which I do want to throw a shout out to my brother Blake. Because when he showed up for Mod 1, he connected with these ladies first.
Yes.
And I'm like, who's Blake over? How is he connecting with people better than me? He's my guest. And then he introduced me to the two of you. He says hi, by the way.
Okay.
Hi,
Say
Blake.
hi, Blake.
And so it was that as well. And it's just, I've said it time and time again, just amazing. I'm truly grateful. And I've said it since I've been here, for us as sisters that's coming together, the where we are, how we're doing it, when we're doing it, why we're doing it, and how our lives have changed. Well, I shouldn't speak for you. How my life has changed
You can
in the
speak for
time
me.
frame of having known you both. It's just, I've learned so much, grown so much. And yeah, if we're not learning, therefore growing, then we're dying. And I'm living it up, especially my time here this weekend. So I appreciate you both.
I certainly feel your excitement, Sheila. It goes a full circle. I totally echo the credits that, when you spoke your mind and, Hope bring me to the picture. I also gave credit to Hope. I think if I remember correctly, that you were saying, why don't we get an in-person gathering?
Did I say that?
I couldn't
Okay.
remember you started or Sheila started. And we said, let's plan for it. That was months ago. And little by little, we asked for what we wanted. We're not afraid of being rejected, because if you think about, what if I said I invite Sheila to come over and she said, no, I'm not interested, right?
Mhm.
We ask for what we want and without thinking about being rejected, because who knows, right? We got to get that out, ask for what we want.
Mhm.
Then other people can respond. The universe can help us to get where we want it. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
thinking back, that's a huge thing for us, everybody, particularly for women, like when you started, ask for what we want. How often do we do that?
Yeah. So I'm going to take the credit if you say it was me, okay.
Yeah.
But what I feel that a lot of times, like you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
we dare not ask. We have an idea, we don't let other people know,
Mm-hmm.
and thinking other people would know what's in our mind.
Mhm.
No, nobody knows what you want until you are able to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
And to that point, Sheila, thank you so much for driving 4 hours to come to our place, and really appreciative of you to make us so convenient. But I believe it worth it. Like we just talked about how many hours we have been talking, even though we have known each other for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
But the amount of new information we learned from each other,
Yeah.
it just humongous.
Oh.
It's like in another level to me.
Oh, agreed.
And I truly
Certainly.
I truly feel that before we are already sisters. Now we are sisters, almost like growing up together, because
Mhm.
now I know your childhood, you know my childhood, I know your childhood. It just
Yeah.
feels so wonderful.
It agreed, and not that we haven't shared some things with each other on camera and everything. It's just that coming together and seeing the mannerisms and all of that in person. It just does take that to another level, and it creates a certain level of comfort, because you're on a when you're on a screen recording, or like I said, we have conversations off screen. So it's even then it's not the same as coming together. So and from what I recall, when we originally started talking about this, we picked some dates, and then lives happened, and we weren't tied to stuck with a certain date. It was like, hey, we're living our lives, totally get it. Does this weekend work? Does that weekend work? And it was like, even leading up to it, we settled on it, put it on the calendar, and then it was a matter of, if it doesn't work, guess what? We can change it.
Yeah.
We're at choice with that.
We do.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah, we did.
And it happened. So I just love that, because all of us went through the coaching school. We have the framework. We know what we're talking about. When we talk about the level of energies, I do want to remind our listeners about the 7 levels. And because we talk about levels, we just talk about we're at level 7.
Yeah.
But what is level 7? So Joy, you want to start level 1 and 2?
Oh, of course. I think level 1, level 2 are both catabolic energy. We kind of, introduced before. Level 1 is really the victim mode, that things are being done to us and we have no power to change it. We're feeling stuck, and, we don't know how to go forward. And level 2 is still catabolic energy, but it feels very different, because level 2 is conflict driven. There's only 2 perspectives of everything, right and wrong, and yes or no. And it's a lot of judgment toward others, making us feeling, I am better than you, and this is all your fault, why you're doing this, and that will drive the anger outside, after us. So
Mhm.
that's a simple form what I understand, level 1 victim and level 2 conflict.
And that's the lowest level, which
Mhm.
would in turn create a lot of stress in people's life.
Mhm.
And all three of us, we are conscious about when we are in those mode, on why we are in those mode, and coming out of it even stronger. So I'm
Mhm.
gonna share level 3 to 5, and Sheila, you will share 6 and 7. Okay. All right. I'll help you, sister.
Okay, thank you.
So level 3 is the settle for good enough. It's responsibility. Even though I don't blame you, I don't blame myself, I want to get things done, but I still have the feeling of you're not doing something that I appreciate, but I want to get the project done. So I'm moving forward. I cannot forgive you. Find the silver lining in the cloud. But it's still, you're just suppressing the catabolic level 1, level 2. Okay, long term, it's not good. It's going to show up eventually.
Yeah.
And level 4 is we call it's caring, it's a conditional love, it's the servant leadership. If you're in level 4, you really think about other people, you want to solve their problem, people will come to you for advice. It's a good feeling because we're solving other people's problem.
Yeah.
But the challenge is sometimes you're putting too much on your own plate, and then you're like, why am I doing all this? Why aren't you doing it? So just pay attention to how much you are doing and what is your boundary. And level 5 is the win-win situation. Not only I want to get the project done, in the meantime, I want to bring you along to see how can we agree? How can we listen to each other's perspective? How can we find opportunities? So if you are level 5 or you work for a leader of level 5, great, because those are the leaders who can really find all that. I agree. Really find all the opportunities to solve problem instead of looking at not problems, opportunities.
Yeah.
Yes. So Sheila.
So level 6, that's, Hope touched on conditional love. That's where you start to experience that unconditional love. You truly freeing yourself of judgment of others. You're building that connection. And then into a level 7, you're connected to any and all. You view life as, what do we say? Life is, there's no winning, losing. Life is just a game to be played. And how you show up to play that game is what matters for yourself and for others. And you can really, once again, no one truly resonates at level 7 all the time. Going back to what Joy said, in the past 16 hours and connecting, it's for her, that's where she's like, wow, I'm in the cloud, connected to all, and just feeling really good about who you are, where you are, why you are, when you are, and how you're doing it.
Yeah. So now you can understand, like we are in such high level of energy. We don't feel tired. We don't feel anything that troubling, and we dance, we sing, we laugh, we hug,
Eat.
Great food,
Great
coffee. So that's just the state. It feels good.
In the flow, in the cloud.
And it all goes back to the start of asking for what you want, not having conversations in your head, judging your own ideas, just putting it out there with someone.
And this is what you get.
This is what you get.
Be who you are.
Be who you are. Ask for what you want. Absolutely.
This is awesome. I know that we can go on and on because we have been on and on for more than how many hours?
21 hours.
21 hours. You did the calculation. So
thanks for doing
what
that.
would be some last word we want to share?
Coming together matters. even though once again we've been doing this, as I said earlier, repeating myself, for 2 years on Zoom. We talked in one podcast of trying to figure out how we do this, and then we go back to, oh, this is easy, use the Zoom platform. But coming together with you ladies, it's just it takes me back to when we first met, and there was curiosity then. Now it's more curiosity. So come together as often as you can. Do not take for granted, 2020 and what everybody wants to forget with COVID and the pandemic, that that still is important. I mean, even the commitment we've made in the last 21 hours to do this on a regular basis. It started out 1 year. Now it might be several times during the month. Who knows? Maybe I'll move back to the area.
Oh yeah.
Just so we can do it. It's been amazing, and I'm glad that, once again, giving credit to Hope for saying, hey, 2 years, it's coming up. Let's come together to celebrate, and all in. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Collaboration, coming together. It's an old way of looking at things, if you will, but it does matter, and it truly has done my heart good for Joy to invite me to stay at our house. And I go, hotel. I know we've known each other for 3 years and seen each other on screen, but I don't know if I want you to know me that personally.
Oh yes, you do.
And you're learning. So even just that in particular, and I will say I'm honored, Joy, with your house,
My
that you and I
pleasure.
was the first guest that you
Yes.
had that house built. It truly it feels good.
Thank you.
What about you?
My takeaway is I am fully blown away by how I'm feeling, like this great, this level of the great, that being in the cloud, being in the flow. I have repeated many times. My takeaway is, don't be afraid to be who you are. If you miss a friend, and reach out and connect, find opportunities that talk on the phone, meet in person, and have a good meal and walk around the street. Do whatever you really deserve and enjoy. And a lot of time we're so buried by the daily, you will be busy. Like no matter how hard you try, you will be busy. There will be a lot of things going on. Kids, husband, school, work, neighbors, and community volunteers. All of us will be busy with a lot of things. However, we always crave for the meaningful connection, the friendship, the sisterhood.
Yeah.
My takeaway is, plan it and ask for it, right? Be who you are. If you miss them, tell them you miss them and get together. So
Absolutely.
I totally agree with you that togetherness, but be brave, reaching out. What's the worst can happen?
Yeah.
The least the worst can happen is I won't make it this day, and then let's figure out what day that works. And even talking on the phone, that would be meaningful too.
Yeah.
Just
That is so
be
true.
brave.
Yeah.
Connect.
So true. The togetherness. To me, I feel that I would have never imagined in my whole life that I would come to the other side of the globe and have a sister whose skin doesn't look like me. That's beyond my imagination. So I feel that when people say that, I don't understand that, I don't know why they do that. And the truth is, we are more similar than different.
Absolutely.
And when we share our growing up, our parents, how they parented us, I just felt that as a human being, we all need the same thing. We all need love, to be loved, and togetherness, that excitement, the good feeling of life.
Agreed. Well said.
Well said.
Okay, should we call it next time?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I think there's more dancing, eating, conversation. So yeah,
Singing.
Possibly, depending on how much alcohol we have. I don't know. So yes, let's get to it.
All right.
Well, we will see you all next time. And remember, this is
Yeast,
your
your
energetic,
energetic, authentic
self
self
today.
today.